What's good, y'all? It's Terrible Shooter, and we're back with another video. Probably wondering why I have these gloves on and this mask on is because it's hot in here. We're gonna be dealing with some chemicals. That's right, you heard me. We're gonna be dealing with some chemicals. We're gonna be cleaning mine, I bought it. We're gonna be cleaning, me again, I did it again. I'm gonna be cleaning my AR. This is the first time that I'm doing firearm maintenance or firearm cleaning on my AR. So, let's get into it. Alright guys, don't be upset with me. I already have this broken down to some degree. Now, this was my first fun fact. Everyone likes fun facts, right? So, this was the first time that I've broken down my AR. It was very nerve-wracking because I didn't want to break anything or mess up anything and have to go to a gunsmith to have it fixed. So I spent a lot of time off camera studying how to break this down, and come to find out it's really not that bad. But you know, when it's your first time, you feel like everything is at stake. So with that being said, I already have this broken down to some degree. In a future video, I'll show how I broke down my rifle if you guys are curious or if you care that much. So let's get some things out the way first. I'm breaking down the Daniel Defense DD-M4V9. That is the AR that you've seen in my past videos. It's my only AR. And we have to do some maintenance here because when I broke this AR down, there's a lot of carbon buildup on the inner pieces here. So let's get into it. What do we want to start with first? I guess we can start with the lower here. As you can see, I took out the trigger and everything. Everything is out of here. I took out the buffer as well, the buffer and the spring. It's the buffer. And this is the spring. What I'm gonna do first is actually work on the lower. I did watch a couple of videos on how to do this, so I got me an air can that I've used for when I'm working on my car. Use some compressed air to spray inside the tubing here. Get whatever carbon that's in there, whatever debris. Just gonna use this rag or this cloth here. Put that in there. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna clean everything, we're gonna wipe down everything first, and then we'll make sure we, lubricate it as well. But we're just gonna do some wipe downs and making sure we get carbon off. So I think the lower is pretty good. Quick and simple and easy. The camera focus on that. It looks pretty good. All right. Now, as I mentioned before, this is my first time doing this, so this might be a lengthy video, and I'll probably not name the parts correctly. I apologize in advance, but if you hear a vibrating noise, that's my phone, actually. All right, just gonna fit this in here. Turn this around. Try to blow out some of that carbon there, and it looks a little bit better inside. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it looks a lot better inside. We're also going to use our nylon brush too to get some of that carbon off as well. I'm just wiping everything down first. All right. Okay. All right. Now we're going to. Damn, this has so much carbon on it. Jeez. Yeah, if you guys could be so kind, in the comments below, let me know what the name of that piece is, because that piece will even clean this as well. I think at this point I just want to use the nylon brush to get this carbon off. And you can see that the amount of carbon that's on here. We got our firing pin. I'll let you guys see that before I wipe it down. That's our firing pin here. Wipe this down. Focus. All right, there we go. So this little piece here actually goes into the BCG. It goes into here. So we're gonna wipe this down too, because there's some carbon on that as well. You want to use a, I don't even know what to call this thing here, but you got to use something to be able to pull that out. Alright, so make sure we don't lose that. Whew. And then we have our trigger assembly here. I'll let you guys see how dirty that is. Alright, so now that we got those pieces wiped down, I'm going to use my nylon brush. And I'm going to use my nylon brush. And we're gonna wipe down, get a lot of this carbon off. Wipe this down. And as I'm told, this is good enough. You know, just basic firearm maintenance for your AR. It's nothing crazy. Just basic firearm maintenance. Alright, BCG is good. Let's move on to the next piece here. Now you see these gas rings? These little, these metal pieces, you see it moving a little bit. These are gas rings. They're gonna have some play in it, that's normal. You do want to inspect it. If you see obviously any cracks or anything like that, you want to get it replaced, or if it's stiff, it's not moving at all, you want to probably consider getting that replaced. But our gas rings are looking pretty good. Okay, yeah, there's so much. So I don't know if you guys can see this, if my camera focus, but I kind of have the light on it. You see all of this? This can be scraped off. And for the millionth time, that piece that I can't remember, a bone something, is perfect to getting this off. So I'm using this pin here to kind of scrape some of it. Let's lubricate our buffer spring. Got some oil over there. Dab that in there. Just run this through. Alright, I think that's good. Put this on our buffer, should hear a click. There you go. Shouldn't fall out. As you can see, we're good to go here. Back inside. Easy peasy, got that back in. Alright, so now we're gonna get some lubricating oil, and we're just gonna drop it in these channels here. do, 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 do. Just gonna use this, rub it all up in there. All right, I think that's good. All right, so continuing on with our bolt carrier. We got our bolt. I'm gonna place this in here. Put our pin in. I'll rotate this so it's sideways. Alright. Gonna get our firing pin. This back together. Make sure that's flush. Pin doesn't come out. Okay. Do a little check real quick. Make sure our gas rings are good. If it was to go down like that, then we would have to replace our gas pins, but our gas rings. But the rings are good. It's holding up. Put that to the side. Now we're going to lube our charging handle. Nice little sheen. Now we are going to lube our bolt carrier. Put this here. Gonna lube this bad boy. Get a good amount of lubrication on here. You don't want to run a dry gun, so we're gonna make sure that's nicely lubricated. All right, so we got our bolt nicely oiled. All right, I'm gonna pull this forward. That was a little tricky putting the bolt carrier and the charging handle in for the first time. But there we have it. That's back in there. And let's put this off to the side. All right, so now let's put back in our trigger. If you guys can see inside here, that little ledge right there, our trigger has to go down and under to push this down. See how it's pushing down? So we're gonna take this puzzle piece here, and it sits, you see that spring, it sits on top of the spring. I should have did it when I had it out, but whatever. All right, so now we have that in, and what we're gonna do to keep this in place, if you can see here, I don't know if I can get this on camera. All right, so if you pay attention to this hole here, when I push down, you see there's clearance, right? So we're going to take our pin and we're going to insert it. Doesn't matter what side, you can insert it in either side, but the idea is to get this in place. All right, so we got our trigger, got the trigger, and I had to do this off camera because it was kind of tricky trying to align this thing so I can get the pin through. So now we got our hammer. Now the hammer seats in here. So these two pins is going to face towards your buffer and your buffer spring. All right, sorry about that, guys. I had to do this off camera, putting the trigger back together. But I got it in. Let's do a manual test really quick. All right, all right. Seems to be pretty good. Put that in safe. All right, now we're gonna put our upper receiver. Very simple. All right, got our pins pushed in. We're good to go. And that's all there is to it. So this was my first time. Let me fix the camera. All right, guys, so this was my first time doing a field strip of my AR-15, doing some weapon maintenance, some general basic weapon maintenance. So I think it went pretty well. We cleaned our firearm. We got a lot of that carbon that was built up inside the bolt carrier group, our buffer and buffer spring, the lower receiver, all of that. And we looped it up pretty good. Make sure this thing is not dry. I think it went pretty well with me cleaning my AR-15 for the first time. It was a little bit challenging. I think the most challenging part was putting back in the trigger assembly, because there's a couple of springs that you have to finagle around. You have to finagle the trigger spring a little bit to get it seated properly. Then you have to make sure that the trigger is aligned properly so you can put in these push pins here that you see. So I want to say that probably was the most challenging part, to be honest, but other than that, it wasn't so bad. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's a long one. In the future, I'll update this video with me cleaning my AR-15. Obviously, it'll be a lot faster because I'll be more familiar with the parts and the pieces and whatnot, and you guys will be able to follow along a lot better. But I hope you guys enjoyed the first time that Terrible Shooter is cleaning his AR-15. It was much needed. Leave your comments down below if you guys have any tips or methods on how you clean your AR-15. It'll be greatly appreciated. I'll apply that to the next time that I have to clean my AR-15. Again, this is the Daniel Defense DDM4 V9. It's kind of hard finding videos on this specific rifle, but hopefully you guys will be able to get more in the future with this. So, Terrible Shooter signing out. Peace.